Hello, everybody. Hi.
Hello, everybody. Eric, tell everybody in the world, these hundreds of thousands of people that are watching us, tell them, or dozens, tell them what this is about, please, sir.
We are drinking whatever you want to call it, Festivus, holiday, December, winter type beers. We've all picked a beer that is a winter or festive or holiday beer, and we're
A
going to
holiday beer. Holiday beer. I think we'll look at winter beers next month, maybe, huh?
Holiday beer.
Beers. Now, well, we have a pretty good group. Some people didn't show up, but that's okay because we are doing another video tomorrow, and it's hard to do, you know, everything. But here I am in Louisiana. We have John in Indiana, Eric and Nate in Massachusetts, and a little bit west of that, southwest of that, is Maria in the state of New York, the girl next door.
Hi.
Oh.
Now,
how's it going?
It's going. How's it going, everybody?
Good.
Excellent.
Now, I have a beer that is a year old.
Ooh.
Nice. Knives, dude.
It's Sweetwater Festive Ale. Now, I don't know if this is made for aging. It's over 7% alcohol. It's like 7.7%. It's an ale brewed with spices. I'm not going to read all the ingredients. So a lot of different malts, a lot of different hops. It's brewed in Georgia. We've only been getting Sweetwater for less than 2 years.
Gotcha.
They make big bottles, but this is just the 12-ounce. It says best enjoyed by November of 2014. Well, too bad. Anybody else want to show us what you've got?
I've got Southern Tiers 2 times Christmas. You know me and Southern Tier. This is one of my favorite regional brewers. This is their winter spiced beer, and it's 8% ABV. Southern Tier, like your beer, likes to tell you what they put in it. So this one's brewed with figs, orange peel, spices, 2 varieties of hops, and 4 types of malt.
Very nice.
Wow, figs.
Yeah, and let me tell you straight up, on Beer Advocate, everybody hates this beer. I've seen reviews as low as 1 out of 5, and
Wow.
I'm one of the only people that's going to come out and say they like this beer.
Wow.
I think it's fantastic beer, Maria.
How you like this head?
Looking good.
I made a notorious video about that Southern Tier 2X last year, and I posted it on Maria's page.
You were bad-mouthing my my guys.
So then I said, I couldn't even remember what I had said about it, so I said, let me see what I said about this beer. So I typed it in, started looking at it, and I said, oh no, it's too late now, I've already posted it. I was saying some outlandish things, and I said, I need to revisit this. This is terrible. So folks, don't ever watch that video that I made.
And I think you should, because I enjoyed it. I liked that video, actually.
I've had several beers from Southern Tier, and I really can say I've never had a bad beer from them.
I was so embarrassed.
I think they're very dynamic. They go out of their way to brew new beer consistently. Their seasonals are tremendous, and they just came out with a single variety hop series, which I haven't had any yet, but I can't wait.
Hey, we get a lot of their beers, so I just have to eat my words and just deal with it. Okay, now we'll go to Nate and then John.
Hey, so I played it a little close to my vest, and I'm going to say that this still qualifies even though it's a winter lager. And the reason why I picked this one as a holiday beer is that when I'm drinking it, it kind of almost tastes like a Christmas tree. And I looked at some of the special ingredients in there, and I think I understand why, because it's got orange peel, ginger, and cinnamon in there along with the beer. And it's just kind of a festive, with the ginger flavor in it, it's a little bit more festive than your, just a regular winter lager.
Yes, and I think a lot of people, don't y'all think a lot of people would drink Samuel Adams Winter Lager as a holiday beer?
Oh yeah, definitely around here.
I think they would drink it just for the sole fact that it should probably be extremely easy and cheap enough to try. It should.
Yeah, and it's everywhere pretty much. I looked, Jay, I looked in Louisiana just before we went live to see where they would sell it, and they sell it pretty much everywhere.
Yeah, every store has
So-
it. Every gas station has it.
Yeah.
It's very popular.
Nice.
So, and that clocks in at about just a little bit over 5.6% by volume, and well, it gets cold in New England, so that's probably why.
Yeah, that's pretty mild. I love that beer. John?
I've got one from a Thirsty Dog Brewing Company. It's called the 12 Dogs of Christmas.
All right.
This comes in at 21.5 ABU and
Whoa.
8.3% alcohol. So
Oh, okay.
it's considered a winter warmer. So
Hold on, I just passed out. What did you say? Let me get back up off the floor.
I thought you said 21% alcohol by volume.
21%?
now it's 8.3%. It's 21.5 IBUs.
Oh, I was about to say, John, you're going to die on air. Now,
I could go back and get a big 20% beer.
holy smack. Bro.
All
Hey,
right.
hey, that is incredible. Well, I've never drank anything above 16. No, let me take that back. I drank one that was 17%, I think, and it was terrible. I hated it. Well, and where is this beer made, John?
Akron, Ohio, from Thirsty Dog Brewing Company.
All right. Very nice.
Akron.
My wife picked those up at the local package store here in town.
Cool.
She
Akron.
tried to celebrate the festive holidays with beer.
Now,
Very nice.
now, is that beer pretty common around your place?
This one is, yeah. Some Thirsty Dogs, but yeah, it's somewhat common in your more higher end package stores.
And what's the name of it again?
12 Dogs of Christmas Ale.
12 Dogs at Christmas. That is funny.
Awesome.
Well, anyway, there's no real structure to this tonight. We're just talking about holiday beers and
I will explain my beer since we almost forgot about me live on camera. I know I've mentioned it enough times to the panel here, but
I'm embarrassing myself left and right tonight. Okay.
Yep, this one is in the same sort of a name style as John's. This is Six Geese a-Laying from the brewery. It is a Belgian strong dark ale at 11.5% ABV. They say it is brewed with Cape gooseberries. This malty ale displays notes of plums, dark cherry, and bright citrus-like flavors from the namesake berries. And I looked it up on Wikipedia. I guess gooseberries are in the same family as currants. If that helped out, anybody know what a gooseberry is?
No.
Because I didn't go into this
I
beer
know
knowing what a gooseberry
is. My grandma had a bush. I love them. They're terrific. That should be very, very tasty.
The first thing that I noticed when I opened the bottle maybe half an hour ago was when it's cold. I mean, the beer in general does, but when it's cold, it has an extreme sweetness to it. And when it starts to warm, the sweetness still remains, but it becomes far and far diminished from where it was. But it definitely has a very dark fruited note. It's very sweet. It has a lot of sour and acidic type qualities to it, and it's very spiced, kind of like ginger and clove and nutmeg, all those kind of spices, like a mulled kind of a spice. It's almost like a mulled wine almost.
Isn't that funny that you mentioned mulled wine? Now this beer here, Two Times Christmas, is modeled after the Swedish drink Glögg. That's a Christmas drink, and that's a mulled wine, so that's a wine that's warm, served warm, with fruit peel and spices added. And this one too has like a voluptuous fruity depth to it that is just I don't know, it just seems to come forward, you know, as it warms. It starts out bright and sharp, but then it relaxes, you know, into the beer and into the spices, and you get a really nice mix.
Sounds like this beer right here from the brewery, all right, and yours is probably a lot cheaper than this one. I think this bottle from the brewery was like $16 for the 750 milliliter bottle. They're crazy expensive, the brewery.
Now wait a minute, Eric. Hold on a second. Now, you started drinking this beer before we went on air, and I apologize for skipping you earlier. I didn't mean to.
All right.
You have a 750 milliliter bottle of what percent alcohol beer?
I'm not drinking the whole bottle. No. But this beer is 11.5% alcohol.
Good grief. You look like you're experiencing that beer a little bit, if you know what I mean.
I did. I poured one of my family members a sampler, and I maybe had this glass halfway full. So I'm gonna cap the rest of it and have it for another day. It's way too big of a beer to just sit down and drink. And plus, I don't think that at $16 a bottle, I would be getting my money's worth just guzzling down a big old beer like that.
No.
Not at all.
But that's really impressive.
Yeah, it does. I mean, I don't really find it to be hugely alcoholic in taste, but it definitely, when you finish the beer, you definitely get the sour and acidicness, and it mixes in with a little bit of warmth from the alcohol. You definitely notice that it's 11.5 when you start to feel the finish of the beer. Definitely.
I didn't think that double bastard felt too alcoholic either, and then I drank the whole bottle and I had to delete the video.
But it could be this could be the style though. I find that Belgian beers can have that little bit of like that acidic or sourness, and maybe mixed with the alcohol, it brings that out. It brings those flavors out a little bit more than just in a different kind of a style beer.
But now, Eric, aren't most of the brewery beers sour type beers?
I think so. I know they do. I mean, you did a whole video series of their beers. I think they do a lot of. They like to play around with sour, but you don't really find that in American breweries a lot, where they like to make sour beers.
Yeah, you're right. There's only one that I know of in America that is made for that company in Philadelphia, and that was a
the Monk's Cafe?
Yeah. Now, yeah, the brewery sent me really a beautiful package. Yeah, 3 beautiful beers. It was so expensive, but they sent it to me for free, and I was really appreciative. Now, don't y'all find that? Now, I'm just going to bring this topic up and see what you think about it. Don't you find? I find this. When I drink a lot of these holiday beers, so-called holiday beers, I find that many of them taste like fruitcake.
Let's see.
I like fruitcake.
Yeah.
They all have a noticeable.
I like it too. You
Or
know,
spiced cake,
Yeah, okay.
you know, like a gingery, you know, allspice, cinnamon, clove, something spiced up and real nice.
yeah, like we go out for Christmas, right? We go out for Christmas dinner and they have these type cakes, or you go to somebody's house and they have the spice cake or the fruit cake. Because, you know, y'all were talking about plum notes and fruit notes.
Yep.
You know, fruit cake has those, what do they call it, candied fruits? I don't know. It just reminds me of it. It doesn't taste exactly like it, but it does remind me of it. And maybe that's what they're shooting for since it's holiday season.
It tastes like a big old fat Christmas cookie.
That's
You
what
know,
I said
with all the honey,
this is cookie beer.
Meg, and all that.
Yeah, big old fat Christmas cookie. When I was a little kid, when I was like 3 and 4 years old, 5 years old, we would go to my grandmother's house in Metairie, and she's still alive, 87. I need to call her this week. But she would have this, like, paper thing of chocolate. You'd open it up, and it would be like a chocolate thing, and it had the little wax paper things with each little chocolate in it, and you'd eat it and it had liquor in each chocolate. Each chocolate had a type of liquor in it. Have you ever seen those before?
I think so. That sounds
Like
familiar.
one might have rum in it, the other one might have whiskey, one might have bourbon.
Yeah.
I would eat those things. I didn't like the taste of the alcohol though when I was 3, but the candy. No, I didn't. But the candy was good. I never recall getting drunk. It just, you know, it just tasted funny to me.
Right.
Have anybody else heard of those kind of candies?
Yeah, but it's been a while.
I don't
I've
know.
not seen those in years.
You seen those lately, Maria? You remember those?
I'm trying to think of the last time I think the last batch of those that I had were the Bailey's filled chocolates that I got. I make my own, you know, like I'll make a nice whiskey cake for Easter, a chocolate whiskey cake, and I'll do it with, like, today I made chocolate crinkles. You sprinkle a little whiskey on those and they're quite delicious.
Wow.
The taste of the whiskey has never turned me off. Not even when I was a kid.
Oh, okay. Well, these actually had the liquid in them. You know, it was like chocolate, but inside it was actual liquid whiskey. You know, maybe like a half an ounce or something.
Yeah.
I never.
Well, they sell those little chocolate cups you do cordials, you know, after your meal, and you fill it with whatever liqueur you're drinking. Those are yummy too.
I might have to look into hard liquor. I've never really fooled around with hard liquor, to tell you all the truth.
It's delicious. Well, bourbon goes so well with beer.
Okay, well, that's a different world I need to maybe explore, but I don't know. I'm so caught up in beer right now, as we can see. But my general opinion, and I don't know what you think, Nate, but my general opinion is that I like holiday beers.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think?
I tend to agree with it. Like I said, I feel like even when we were talking about the pumpkin beers, you might consider that a holiday beer for that type of season.
Yeah, for fall, yeah.
Like fall or Halloween or whatever. But they just kind of like they go. There's pretty much a seasonal beer to go with pretty much wherever you are in here. So like you have, like I think most of you guys have like kind of a higher up alcohol content.
Yeah.
In your beers, and that just goes hand in hand. That it's like I said, in New England, it's cold outside, so a little bit of that AVB maybe make you forget that a little bit. But on top of that, they're a little fruity, so they've got a little sweetness to the season.
Yep.
I think it's the bubbles in mine that made me think of like the pine needles on the Christmas tree a little bit. So it had all the spices in there, but it's very festive. And kind of reminds you of when you are.
Yeah,
Eric's forgetting about the cold right now.
You get what's called what I like to call what's called sometimes a synthetic warmth.
Yes.
It's not a real. It's not like you put on a coat and turned on the heat warm. It's a fake warm.
Right. Yeah, that's right. That's right.
The thing about let me try to put it in this term. You start seeing Christmas stuff come out like in October now. You're seeing your Halloween beers start to come out in August. Now you're seeing your Christmas beers come out at Halloween time.
Yeah, insane.
It's
time for our Easter.
It's getting crazy.
Y'all want to do Easter?
We need an Easter beer.
Want to do Easter beers Thursday? They'll probably be in the store. Hey, I'm sounding silly, but it's getting that bad. Oh, John and everybody else, this beer is really good, right? Like, so I'm enjoying it, but I don't think I'd want to drink it too much. It's too rich. It's too spicy. I couldn't handle it too much.
Yeah, I'm with you on mine beer as well.
I saw Maria drinking Pabst.
No, these are not.
Pabst Blue Ribbon. It's like
don't tell anyone. I ruined my own reputation by advertising that I had a PBR, and I still have some in the fridge.
Now, the reason I'm bringing up
There's
Pabst
nothing
Blue
wrong with PBR. That just shows you're a hipster, Maria.
I like PBR. There's always a thread that pops up on a beer website. What's your guilty beer pleasure? What beer do you like that you would be embarrassed to tell people that you like? And I'm not embarrassed. I like a lot of those beers. PBR is a good go-to beer. It's light. It's pleasing to everyone. It goes with any meal you're going to put on the table. And like you wouldn't serve this with any other foods but dessert. Mm-hmm. So I mean, like I was making lasagna the other night, and then I just thought, well, I'll just have this. It's easier than trying to match a beer with tomato sauce, because no beers go with tomato sauce except for Duvel, and I didn't have any Duvel, so.
The reason I brought up Pabst Blue Ribbon though is because, it's like that's a beer that you could drink every day and you wouldn't really get sick of it because it's so mild and sort of, I guess people could say dull, whatever, but it's drinkable. This is not. If you drank this every day, you'd get kind of sick of it pretty fast, I think, right?
Oh, yeah, I could drink one of these and I'm done.
You might start to put on the calories very, very soon with some of these beers.
Yeah. Like I that would
be rich.
John, I think it was John. It might have been John Walker, but I think John was talking about we ought to do a video one night about standby beers or something. He was talking about
yeah,
that sounds good.
The whole concept of standby beers, like in my fridge right now, I've got natural ice, and I just have it in there as and then I have some Busch Signature Lager as a standby beer. It's like I don't think about it when I'm drinking. I'm just, drinking because I'm watching a game or something. It's like you can't always just drink a specialty beer. I mean, I guess you could, but
that gets expensive. Number one.
So that sounds like a good idea. You think that sounds like a good?
Yeah.
Oh, I do a standby beer, yes.
All right.
You could almost do it. You could almost do that by region almost, because it seems like every region in the country has their own kind of a. This is our beer, and this is what we drink, and this is what we always have around when we're getting together with friends or family.
And I like those. And another reason I like those standbys is a lot of them are low calorie. You know what I mean? So.
Yeah.
Yep.
They're not really a light beer. They're not technically a light beer. They're just. Like the natural ice is 121 calories. No, I'm sorry, 131. Bud Ice is 121. Well, that's pretty low, right? 121, 131.
Yeah.
It's also the difference sometimes for me as far as the price goes. It's like, do I want to spend $10 on a 6-pack of Pikeland Pills, or do I want to spend $5 on a 6-pack of PBR? If I'm going to put beer, out for a bunch of people, I'm going to buy the PBR. I'm not going to buy the $10 a 6-pack beer. Or if I'm going to, if it's going to be a day where you're going to be drinking a lot of beer, and, like I like the nice Pilsners. I like Prima Pils, and I like Pikeland Pills and Dortmunder Gold and everything. But if you're going to put that out for football day and there's people going to be there, well, you're going to go for the one that's a little bit cheaper, at least I am. And I don't find that they're all that bad. I happen to like a few of them.
Those kind of beers tend to not offend as much, and you won't run the risk of saying, well, there goes Eric again, getting all beer geeky on me now.
Right.
You can still be beer geeky with PBR. With you can taste any beer. You can do your tasting with any beer.
I 100% agree with that.
Yeah, that's why I wish I kind of wish. Tanya had joined us because she's really good at taking an ordinary beer, and like Maria does too now. She might have been watching Maria, but she's really into the JC. How you say that?
BJCP.
Yeah, BJCP, and then she'll take an ordinary beer, and then she'll go through it, and she'll go through it and break it down and analyze it, and she does a great job. And Maria does the same thing. And but you talked about Narragansett, Eric, up there in New England. Yeah, we don't get that. But anyway, back to holiday beers. They're good, but my experience with my family is not too positive in the sense that I have gone to Christmas dinner and I have brought specialty holiday beers, and they tell me, we're not drinking that garbage. You just won't drink it. They just get like... They would get like aggravated. Like I remember I went in 1996 when I first started drinking beer, right? For Christmas, 96, my first beer drinking Christmas.
Yep.
I went to my aunt's house and I said, I'm going to bring a beer that they'll all try. And so I brought this Winter Brew lager, and it was, a little more expensive than regular beer, and it was in a beautiful bottle, and they wouldn't even try it. I drank it with dinner. My aunt said, you just brought that beer because you knew nobody else was going to drink it. I said, I didn't know that.
Yes.
I thought that y'all only drank Coors Light, but here it is.
There it is. Oh, you can see it now.
The light is so bright. Yeah, but I mean, it's like, so now I just gave up. I don't even try anymore. If I go to a family party, I bring something that they'll like Busch or something.
Yeah, I'm better off asking if anybody wants to join in on a beer tasting, and if they want to, then I'll bring enough beers. It doesn't make sense to bring all this beer and then, well, maybe it's good where at the end of the day you have to keep all the beer for yourself at the end of the day, but that becomes quite expensive at the end of the day, and all you're trying to do is have fun with people.
Right. Yeah. Now my uncle will try all these specialty beers, but none of the rest will. Oh. Am I wrong? But this beer to me tastes like it has anise in it.
No, you might not be wrong.
You know that licorice thing?
Well, let me give you a quickie BJCP on the holiday spice beer. The spice winter beer is a category all its own in the BJCP, and the guidelines are very, very loose. Basically, the idea is harmony, The bold and dynamic use of adjuncts like orange peel, fig, additional spices, and whether or not the beer's flavors are harmonious and complementary. So it's not unusual to have holiday beers that are thick and very malty. That's traditionally true, and a little bit higher alcohol. The one guideline that they do have is that the alcohol presence is not supposed to be aggressive, but it can be, you know, like you can taste a little bit of it. They're supposed to be sippers, like you said, winter warmers, beers that you know, are flavorful and tasty, jolly with spices and flavor, and that you just sit and sip and enjoy.
Yeah, well, that pretty much covers everything we're drinking tonight.
Exactly. That's
What about Santa Claus? Would it cover Santa Claus?
No, Santa Claus is a Doppelbock.
It's not a holiday beer?
No, that is one pristine beer. That's a thing of beauty. Santa Claus is a work of art.
I have one in my fridge, and I was thinking about aging it for about 5 years minimum. What do y'all think about that?
I'd say do it.
14% alcohol. Now, look, I'm going to say this. I did not intentionally age this festive ale. It just, Rouse's grocery store had it on the shelf, outdated, from 2013. But you know what? I don't find that being a year old or a month past the Best By date is hurting it. Well, 2 weeks past the Best By date. It's not hurting it. It tastes really good to me. What do you think? You think the 7.7% helped it preserve it?
It might have. Usually, I think Beer Advocate usually likes to mention the fact that you can age the beer if it exceeds the normal range.
Oh.
I think they talk about it like that. But you've had that beer before, right? And you didn't know if it, and you don't think that it's really done anything. It didn't really change all that much from a year.
Last year in 2013, I bought a bottle for the 2013 season, and I drank it, so it was fresh, and it tasted just like I'm drinking it now. I don't find it changed any, but of course, how can you remember after a year? Like Maria says, she doesn't like to read beer reviews if they're over a month old because they're sort of irrelevant.
Right. That's
last week.
Yeah. Over a year old, because it's a different beer. I mean, look how much beer can vary from batch to batch. I know in my own hometown, right, there's all kinds of controversy over Ithaca beer and their flower power, and that can literally vary from batch to batch. This time it tasted like this, that time it tasted like that. So I mean, if you're reading a review on Two Times Christmas from 2002, what good is that? You know, like you want to read this year's review, or at least within a year.
You want to make sure what you're tasting is very consistent with what everybody else is says about the beer.
Right. Well, I can't speak for any other beer. I'm just saying the one I drank is a year old and it tastes wonderful. But anyway, John?
But let me use this for example. This might be what we're talking about a little bit. You know, Saturday night, you know, we had a beer tasting here at Bourbon Counties. And we had 3 different alcohol percentages of Bourbon Counties. We had a 13.8, a 14.4, and a 14.8. All out of the same, basically all of the same year, but different alcohol percentages. So that goes to show you, you know, that you can't consistently make a craft beer every time. It's how it comes out of the barrel, how it comes out of, you know, of what you're using. So you know, it's going to change. That's like Maria said, you know, each batch is never the same unless you're consistently making 10 barrels an hour of Budweiser where it's going to be consistent.
Right.
Now, John.
Or it's like, you know, the hop,
Yes.
you tinker with the hop varieties here and there, you know, or whatever, and that'll change up the flavor slightly. So, I mean, I think that's something that we kind of come to accept in craft beer. Like the Bud drinker will not accept a variation in flavor. Like your diehard, I'm only going to drink this one beer type of person doesn't want variations in flavor. They're not looking for a crapshoot. They're not looking to explore the unknown. They want the same beer that they had last time because they liked it, and they want that every time. I think that craft beer drinkers are more apt to notice that there are variations in batches and come to expect it. And sometimes, you know, you get a batch that's just terrible and you think, man, I don't know if I'm going to buy that again.
Oh, yeah, like
it all depends on how you feel about the brewer and the beer. Like, do you want to give it another shot?
Like the Abita Christmas beer from, I think, 3 years ago that me and my daughter reviewed. It tasted like ham.
Was it smoked?
No, it wasn't.
Beer?
It tasted like ham, and it was not a Roch beer.
Oh, that's terrible.
Now, you brought up the Budweiser drink. Let me ask this question real fast, and then I want to ask John a question. Do you think a Budweiser drink, and I know a guy, he only has drunk Budweiser since around 1963, okay?
Yep.
Do you think that a person that drank so much of that would pick up any kind of little taste variation in that beer if it was not consistently brewed? You think they would pick that up pretty fast? I'm just
It
curious.
wasn't consistently
Oh,
brewed.
yeah.
Yeah, I would think so. Absolutely.
So that guy.
Now I'm going to say this from experience. I'm an avid Miller Lite drinker,
Uh-oh.
and I'll tell you what, I can pick up the consistency and the taste if I buy it here in Indiana or I buy it in Kentucky.
Yeah. Because even
why
a
that is-
slight difference in the water will change the flavor of the beer.
Right.
Yeah.
That's weird.
If I buy a case here or I buy a 30-pack in Louisville, I can tell the difference between the 30-pack and the 24-pack.
That is.
You might say it sounds crazy.
If
I've
that's
drank it
all
for
you-
enough years, I can tell the consistency.
It seems
of
almost
that
like
beer.
that seems impossible to believe, but I would like to see you do a blind taste test. But anyway, that's fascinating that you brought that up. But the second question I want to ask is this, John. You've been drinking Bourbon
Okay.
County for how long? I don't know how long that beer's been out.
The last 5 or 6 years.
Okay, now InBev bought them out.
Probably, yeah.
Okay, InBev bought them out in 2011. Do you find that the quality deteriorated, or is it still awesome beer? I'm just curious.
Yeah, it's still an awesome beer. I don't care what anybody says.
I would agree with that statement 100%.
So they didn't.
The consistency. You're never going to get a consistency from year to year to year. I mean, I think this year is better than last year by just a smidgen, but overall, it's still a Goose Island. It's a Bourbon County, and it's still a rockin' beer. I don't care what anybody says. I don't care who.
Yeah, they were lucky when InBev bought out Goose Island that a lot of their bigger Belgian beers and the Goose Island Bourbon County stouts didn't get all their production moved over. Not saying anything against New York here, but didn't get moved over to New York where they're mass producing stuff like the Honkers Ale and the IPA and the Wheat Ale. They left all their important line of beers in Chicago.
Oh, you're talking about Baldwinsville.
Yeah, wherever the headquarters is of Goose Island, they left it alone. Those big bottled beers.
Yeah, the New York brewery is Baldwinsville. That's where they brew Bass IPA, and a bunch of other stuff like Beck's, I think. Anyway,
But they are going to expand capacity and make more for next year. So
awesome.
I'd like to try the Bourbon County myself, but anybody got any last thoughts? I think we had a good time looking at this. We were kind of all over the place on it, but we had a generalized focus.
Yeah, I mean,
Sometimes it's fun when you're not too like, it must be this. Now we go to this.
Right.
Okay, any final thoughts? My final thoughts is I like it.
if you find a beer, it's just like with any beers out there. If you find a beer that you like and the experience was worthwhile to you, then that makes it a good beer. Us sitting here telling you all that you must drink the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different beers that we had, otherwise it's not a good beer. That doesn't make any sense. What we're basically saying is, here's our general opinion. Here's what we think. Now it's your turn to go out there and tell us what you think in the comment section below.
Right. And when I say I like it, I mean I like the style, holiday beers.
The
I like.
concept of holiday beers.
Anybody else?
I enjoy it. I enjoy a holiday beer, but I'm glad when they're gone.
I'm with you on that, brother.
Definitely.
I gotta admit, I'm not crazy about the winter warmer. Spices and beer are a hit or miss type of thing for me. Like I have said so many times, I'm just not crazy about cinnamon in beer. When it's not real loud, not real prominent, I'm okay with it. And it depends on how well blended the spice character is in a beer. Like in this one, it's blended pretty well, I think. I don't know, the winter warmer I think is an acquired taste. Like I would much prefer a Belgian strong dark ale, like what you are having for a winter beer or a nice quad. I find that I don't have to wrap my palate around whatever they've concocted for this presentation so much in a beer like a Belgian. You know, I'm already on board with Belgian styles.
Absolutely, I hear you on that. 100%.
That's interesting. But you enjoyed what you were drinking tonight.
I do. I like what I'm drinking tonight because I think it's well done, and because it's not, you know,
I would like to show something.
out of the ballpark with too many spices.
Yeah. Yeah, Eric said Pumpkinhead. That was my issue with pumpkin.
Has anybody ever seen a can like that?
Spicy.
Oh.
No, I have not.
How old is that? That's awesome.
No, but I've seen Pabst Light, but
That's
not.
an old can.
Vintage ale right here.
Pabst Extra Light.
Yeah, I've seen Pabst Light.
That's extra light.
Oh, Extra Light. That's like Pabst Select 55.
Yeah. That's the extra light.
Eric's got his own extra light there too.
Nestle Life Water.
Poor Eric, he doesn't even know this video is
There
happening
you go.
right now.
I gotta go to practice now. See y'all later.
That's going to be a interesting practice. Anyway, don't drive to practice. I pray you don't drive to practice. Anyway, thank y'all for watching this video production. And I think the next specialty video we make, specialty video, my proposition is we do winter beers.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Just winter beers, you know what I mean? Winter beers. Beers that people drink in winter time.
Got it.
What do you think?
Miller Lite counts. People drink that in the wintertime.
I think that leaves it wide open because
Yes, it would count.
all the brewers are making something called a winter IPA. So I think you can run the course of different styles of beer with that one catch-all category.
But you understand what I'm saying, though, right?
Yes.
Yep.
Yep.
Okay. Well, we'll try to do that in January. That's my idea. We'll work on that later. But thank you.
I'll be bringing 3 philosophers from Omegang to your winter beer.
Awesome.
I love that beer. All right. I saw that today.
Was good.
I saw it today. All right. Thank you, folks, for watching this video production.
We'll see you all soon. I am out.
Yeah, like tomorrow.